Pamoja Tutashenda, brothers and sisters, together we will win. This is Kafing Mwafrika Moore, your host of Visions of Our People, bringing you a message by Pastor Aswad Walker of the Shrines of the Black Madonna of the Pan-African Orthodox Christian Church, that he delivered at the historic Shrine of the Black Madonna #1 in Detroit, Michigan in 2001, entitled One God, One Aim, One Destiny. A message dedicated to the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, the UNIA. Pastor Aswad is the author of Princes Shall Come Out of Egypt, a comparative study of the theologies and ecclesiologies of Marcus Garvey and Reverend Albert B. Clegg Jr., the founder and first Holy Patriarch of the Shrines of the Black Madonna of the Pan-African Orthodox Christian Church, and author of The Black Messiah and Black Christian Nationalism. Pastor Aswad is the associate pastor of the Shrine Christian Center in Houston, Texas, and also the author of Weapons of Mass Distraction and Other Sermons for a New World Order. Here's Pastor Aswad delivering the message, One God, One Aim, One Destiny.
We are still in the season of Pentecost. Our sermon series is still Power in the Name of Jesus. The scripture we're going to go to today again comes from the book of Acts, chapter 4, verses 32 through 35. And it reads, "And all the believers were of one heart and one mind. And no one felt that what he owned was his own, for everyone was sharing. And the apostles preached powerful sermons about the resurrection of the Lord Jesus. And there was a warm fellowship among all the believers, and no poverty. For all who owned land or houses sold them and brought the money to the apostles to give to the others in need." Our text comes from part of that first verse that says, all the believers were of one heart and one mind. And our topic for this morning is entitled, One God, One Aim, One Destiny. We take our title from the words of our patron saint, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And you may ask, why speak on Garvey during Pentecost? And I say, why not? We don't need to relegate speaking about Marcus Garvey during his birth month of August, because Marcus Garvey worked for the liberation of black people every single month of the year. And the season of Pentecost is about the journey of the disciples from their ruin to their resurrection. That's the same thing Marcus Garvey was dealing with. Bringing black people from our ruin to our resurrection, to our restoration. And black folk in Garvey's time, they were about as down and out as folk could get. They had just gotten out of slavery and received quote-unquote emancipation, but they had found themselves in another slavery, wondering, Lord, when will this ever end? So God was trying to take our people from ruin to their restoration. But the same could be said for us today, because black folk, with all of our trappings, with all of the material things that we have, with our supposedly growing middle class, with our internet access and this and that and the other, we are still about as down and out as a group can get. We have this rising divide between the haves and the have-nots. You got black folk who don't even identify with other black people. We've got this seething underclass that has seemingly no hope and no prospects and no hope for the future. And then you look at the political landscape of black folk, and our political power seems to be the lowest that it's ever been. Our social consciousness seems to be the lowest that it's ever been. Our sense of community seems to be the lowest that it's ever been. We're scattered trying to be individual big shots at a time when all other groups, all other tribes, all other nations, all around the world are coming together, coming closer together, merging with other groups, merging with other corporations, merging with other churches, because they see the benefit of ancient African wisdom. They see that there is more power in the group than walking around trying to be some individual all by himself. Nations, churches, corporations are all fighting for their very survival, and they realize that the only way they can survive is if they form a group, not go about it as individuals. The only ones not getting in on this group movement are the blacks. Now, being in one place and on one accord means basically what Garvey said. Believing in one God, one aim, and one destiny. One God means having the same belief system. One aim means having the same goals. One destiny means having a common vision for the future. Marcus Mosiah Garvey had a close friend. He was Archbishop George Alexander McGuire. He was the founder of the African Orthodox Church, the church from which we derive our name, the Pan-African Orthodox Christian Church. Garvey himself, who was a theologian on par with any in the world, ran his organization, the UNIA, like a church, because he realized that without God power, the struggle is futile. So Garvey supported the African Orthodox Church. But Garvey didn't want to name the African Orthodox Church as the official church of the UNIA. Because Garvey realized that black folk worshiped under many faith banners. He realized that some black folk were Muslims, some black folk were Christians, some black folk were this, some were that. And he said, I cannot close my doors to any one group. If I name the African Orthodox Church the official church, that means we're going to close the doors to so many other sisters and brothers. So you understand what he was trying to do. He was trying to maximize the number of sisters and brothers that came into the UNIA. But what he ended up doing was maximizing the numbers, but minimizing the power. He maximized the number of folk that were gathered together, but he minimized those who were on one accord. They had all the numbers and all the trappings and all the potential to do such great things, but it was all undermined by the fact that a small section over here believed one thing, a small section over there believed another, a small section over there believed even something different. So no one was ever on one accord. And if you got a group together trying to do something, the only way you're going to be successful is being on one accord. You got to believe the same thing. Garvey himself said later if he had to do it over again, he would have taken Archbishop McGuire's advice. You see, conflict on just one religious belief or doctrine could form an immovable wall between seekers and power. And you don't even know which one it might be. On this point, Marcus Garvey stated that it is so hard, so difficult to find men and women who will stick to a purpose, who will maintain a principle for the worth of that principle, for the good of that purpose. And if there is a race that needs such men and women, God Almighty knows it is the race of which I am a member. The race needs men and women of vision and ability, men and women of character, and above all, men and women of honesty. And that is so hard to find. The greatest stumbling block in the way of progress in the race has invariably come from within the race itself. The monkey wrench of destruction as thrown into the cog of African progress is not thrown so much by the outsider as by the very person who is in our fold, and who should be the first to grease the wheel of progress rather than impede it. When we fight against God's agenda and we bring our own agenda, our own aim, our own mission, our own purpose into the picture, we are guilty of throwing the monkey wrench of destruction into the cog of Pan-African progress. And we remember well the words of our Honorable First Holy Patriarch, who warned against unity simply for unity's sake. He said, you know, we end up saying that the thing wrong with black folk is that we don't get together. And then we make not getting together the enemy. But not getting together is not the enemy. The enemy is the white system of power that deliberately and systematically oppresses and exploits us. We don't get together because we have been programmed to mistrust each other by an enemy system. What we need is one philosophy, one program, one aim. And being black in and of itself is a condition, not a program. We can't make a program out of being black, because surely Dennis Archer is not a part of our program. But as black people, we can commit to one program. And in this church, we do just that. Our program calls for us to seek personal transformation so we can go out and transform the world. Our program calls for us to practice core, the science of becoming what we already are. Our program calls for us to use the group as a mirror, and it calls for us to stand for good against evil, regardless of the color, regardless of the danger, regardless of popular opinion. Our program calls us to restore black people to our former place of glory and power in the world, so we can give as we are able and receive as we have need. We must be on one accord and believe in one aim. And finally, we must believe in one destiny. You see, Garvey had the vision of a promised land. But because his people did not believe in one God, and because they did not work together on one aim, they could not share his vision. Each was looking out only for themselves. The disciples, they found power when they had a unity of spirit, when they were working towards one destiny, when they pushed their own egos aside and put the group in front. When they did this, they were able to give and to grow and develop, and they became an attractive and compelling force. They gained the courage and the fire to do what Jesus did and even more. And these are the same things that we seek to do in this church, in the Pan-African Orthodox Christian Church, because we, just like the disciples, believe in one destiny. We are working to restore God's will to this earth. We are working to build a kingdom of God on earth. We are seeking to fight against evil and stand on the side of good. And encompassed in that is building a nation with power for black people. Because if you're going to stand for good against evil, then of course you're going to build a nation for black folk. Because evil has been oppressing us for too long. Evil at one point was easy to spot. It was white. It's that white man standing right over there with the whip in his hand. But now today, evil is not that easy to spot, because evil can be dressed up as a black man or a black woman that is exploiting our people just as much as anyone else. But we stand against evil no matter what the color, fighting on the side of good. And in doing that, we are going to build a nation with power. We have one destiny. We have one vision. We see the vision of a promised land. When we look out, we don't see the world as it is right now. When we look out, we see what the world can become for black folk. We are not satisfied with where we are right now. Because just because one brother or one sister over there got a little in their pocket does not mean that we are not still black, that we are not still oppressed, and that we have not still got to work to end our oppression. We realize that black folk are still in trouble. Black folk are still in need, and somebody got to get fired up about that. Somebody has to have a vision of a better world. Somebody's got to see a better destiny. Because all of the scientists and just look at the movies. Every time they show a movie of the future, they don't even have black folk in it. Because their vision of the future does not include us. We got to have a vision that shows us not only there, but in power, running the show, doing the things that God has called us to do. We've got to have that vision. But that vision doesn't come if we don't believe, if we can't believe in one God. If we can't find enough people that believe in one God, enough people that believe in one aim, and then we can have enough folks that believe in one destiny. But we got to find enough sisters and brothers out there courageous enough to believe in one God, courageous enough to believe in one aim, with vision enough to see one destiny. And if we can find enough brothers and sisters like that who are up to the challenge to believe in one God, one aim, and one destiny, then we can answer the call that Garvey said so long ago, "Up ye mighty race, accomplish what you will."
Brothers and sisters, you have been listening to a message by Pastor Aswad Walker, Associate Pastor of the Shrine Christian Center in Houston, Texas, as he delivered a message dedicated to the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, entitled One God, One Aim, One Destiny. Join us again for our next podcast on Visions of Our People.